All right, Georgia and Auburn, renewal of a great SEC rivalry here. Georgia, 14.5-point road favorites, 47 being the total in this one. Money's coming in on Auburn. Man, this is tough because Georgia, to me, has not played 4 great quarters of football in a lot of their games this year. They've played okay at times, but they have not shown that Georgia dominance, really, that we're accustomed to. And even the game against UAB last week, UAB has looked pretty bad at times, especially that Louisiana game where the Cajuns went up and down the field against UAB. And there's Georgia giving up 21 points. They didn't cover. They won 49-21, and the South Carolina game was another game where they failed to cover a big number as favorites, 24-14. They struggled a little bit on offense in that game. They are not crushing teams. So I get why people like Auburn, but I don't know if I trust Auburn's offense enough against what's still the strength of Georgia's team, and that's the defense, because this Auburn offense last week really had a tough time against Texas A&M. I mean, it's a work in progress for you. And keep in mind the California game, which is the only other decent team they've played. They should have lost that game, and they only scored 14 points. This Auburn offense isn't working right now, and that's concerning even against Georgia, even though Georgia's had some inconsistency in their performance the last 2 weeks. So it's another really tough game. You look at series history with Georgia and Auburn. It's been all Georgia the last 3 years, 27-6, 34-10, 42-10. I mean, Auburn's not even been competitive with Georgia the last few years. They're betting Auburn because this is an anti-Georgia opinion that the betting markets have, that Georgia's not been dominant enough to be laying more than 2 touchdowns on the road. I just don't know if Auburn's the team that can take advantage of these perceived struggles, if you will, for Georgia. I don't know if they can, because this offense has not looked very good. And that A&M game especially, not good on offense at all. And you got to be able to score something if you're going to keep within 2 touchdowns of Georgia. And keep in mind, Georgia's still pretty good on defense, even though their offense with Carson Beck is still growing and developing. What do you think here, C-Mac?
That's the issue here. Auburn, can they score anything? Peyton Thorne, awful. They yanked him. The other guy's not great either. Ashford came in for a bit. It was just –
there's a reason they brought in Peyton Thorne. Robbie Ashford's not a starting quarterback yet, and maybe he never will be. That's why they went out and got Thorne in the portal from Michigan State.
When I was worried Thorne would have a game – like, he's looked pretty good in these cupcake wins. Like, he just couldn't get anything against an A&M defense that we saw Miami scoring them. I thought Auburn could get a touchdown or 2 and this game would be close. I thought it would be a little bit lower scoring. Hey, we'll get to A&M later. Max Johnson came in and just started winging it around all of a sudden. And they won that game easily. And the only touchdown for Auburn was a defensive touchdown. They tried to move the ball after that, didn't get anything. So I just don't know. Unless they here at home can get some points, I don't know if I can look at them. This is one that I got to maybe sit with all week, because Georgia just hasn't been dominant. I don't know. Maybe they haven't need to be. They got to get going. I know they have the athletes, and they still have the defense, I believe. So, yeah, I'm off for now.
And Georgia has dominated Auburn. And the one thing, too, this is a CBS game, Saturday afternoon, that prime time slot in the afternoon. And I know Kirby Smart is a great motivator. We've seen some great speeches on, they've captured some great pregame speeches from Kirby to his team, including the championship game last year against TCU. He ain't going to be happy with the way they played in their last SEC game against South Carolina. He's probably going to say something. That's not up to the Georgia standard that we struggled so much in that game. Let's show what we're truly made of. I could see him lighten his team up to get them ready for this game. And if they're playing at a higher level, Auburn's not going to keep up.
I'd look at Auburn's team total under, of course, the under in this game. And you already hit on it earlier, Georgia just owns them. 6-0 ATS, the last 6 against Auburn.